Okay. Alafia, greetings. Where in the world is Iyalode Yeyefini? Yes.
At home for a change.
Yes, in between here and Rwanda. So, we are here, followers of Yeyefini, followers of the power of you. Oh, I didn't know you could show down there. Look at that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I love you. I didn't know that you could touch that button.
Learn something every day.
Uh-huh. So how do we get these people in here? Are they coming up now? Yes, they're coming up. Greetings, greetings, greetings. We are here. Where in the world is Iyalode Yeyefini between here and Rwanda?
Yes.
Yes, so we are here today, as we announced yesterday that we would be on with... Okay, we got it in. I see. Yes. With Queen, yes. My friend, my real friend. My friend, because you know somebody said we friend. Alafia, greetings again. We're here with my friend, Sister IMAHKUS of One Africa. You know, I remember your name. I was trying to make sure that stuff was in there.
Well, formally, everybody knows me as Mama One Africa.
Mama One Africa.
Yes.
Yes, Mama One Africa. Why are we here today? Some of you have followed us over the years. Some of you, this may be your first time. It will not be your last. We have an amazing opportunity for you to see both of us. Y'all have seen me in Rwanda and in Ghana, in the water, out of the water, in the dungeons together. All of the places that our ancestors will take us. We are globetrotters.
Yes.
So IMAHKUS is visiting us. And I thought this would be a wonderful opportunity for some of you to find out what's going on in her world, which is the world of Pan-Africanism, of the word of the ancestors. So please move forward and speak to us as to why you're here, why, when, and how. Ashe.
Well, I just been wandering around. The spirit was on me to visit family, so I didn't inform anyone. I just bought a ticket and wandered around and finally wound up at your place. I know you were not going to have me in this country without coming here. So against all odds, here I am.
Yes.
So, you know, I wanted to kind of talk to you about what I'm doing. You know, you've been to One Africa. You've shared the waters with me. You've shared the dungeons with me. We've done so many things together in honor of the ancestors. And it's been 35 years since One Africa has been in existence. And at this time, reluctantly, I mean, after going back and forth, am I going to sell it? Am I not going to sell it? I've decided to sell One Africa. One Africa has been there for the past more than 30 years as an example for brothers and sisters, showing them what is possible in coming home. Because, you know, we have to deal with all of those negative, you know, Tarzan and, you know, naked Africans and dirty little children. And so we came forward and began building One Africa. We had challenges. There were definitely challenges. We lived in our unfinished house for about 4 years with no electricity.
When you say we, who?
We, oh, please. Nana Okofu, my king man, my bestest friend. He and I came to Ghana from New York City, a retired New York City firefighter, and we came to Ghana together, 1987, and we relocated permanently in 1990. And so that's where we've been until Nana Okofu's demise. Unfortunately, he was killed by a hit-and-run driver in Accra in 2007. So I've been there. I've been there on point. with my people around me, running things. And at this stage in my life, I figure after 30 plus years, I'm ready to do something else with my life. It's called live it to the fullest. And so after having thought about it, do I want to sell it? Trying to find people who are not just like mine, but have the spiritual connection. Because when you set foot on the soil of one Africa, something happens to you. There is a very, very strong spirit that welcomes you. And everyone, anyone, even white folks who've been to one Africa, speak of the spirit that is there, the spirit of our ancestors. We are geographically situated between two major edifices, the Elmina Castle Dungeons and the Cape Coast Castle Dungeons. And we're right in the middle. We're at 0 degrees latitude, 0 degrees longitude. That is the place that was given to us, given to me by my ancestors. I asked for it, and they gave it to me. No man, my ancestors. I said, if you give me this, I will be an obedient servant. They gave it to me. And that has been my journey all of these years. And being an obedient servant meant setting examples for our brothers and sisters to follow, to remove the fear and doubt that they might have in wanting to come home. That's been the task. That's been the blessing. That's been the charge that's been put on my heart. So it's with reluctance that I want to sell, but I want to sell to those who have the spirit of Pan-Africanism. I don't want it to be a casino. I don't want it to be a flop house. I really want us to be able to maintain the integrity, because the blessings from the ancestors definitely abound. So right now, I am living in Rwanda. One Africa has been closed temporarily because it will be renovated with the new people that come. So I just want everyone to know that it is available, and feel free to come and be a part of history that we've made, not just me and my husband, history that all of us have made. Yeyefini came and showed me things on that land that I did not see with my naked eye. Brothers and sisters have come. We've planted trees. I mean, the spirit of the ancestors is very strong, very welcoming.
And today, a lot of people are going to Ghana and don't even know that you were one of the first persons to go to Africa and permanently live. Move from New York, sell all of our things, move to West Africa. So this is a historic move. And the reading of the year says do everything differently. So it's apropos that everything is going differently.
Yes.
Speak about what we saw together and established in the Elmina Castle
when
Dungeon.
We went into the Cape Coast Castle Dungeon.
It was the Cape Coast.
Where the women welcomed me in 1987. And when Yeye came with our other brothers and sisters, and there was no altar, there was no recognition there of the women, of our sisters that had died there. And they called out to us. Well, we gathered stones and we built a shrine, which is there today. What year was it that you were there?
Oh God, I can't remember. 80 something.
80 something.
No, it was 90 something. Early 90s.
Early 90s.
Yeah, like 90.
Because,
I can't remember.
Yeah,
90 something.
It was early 90s. Mm-hmm. But we went into those dungeons and we built a shrine in honor of our sisters, our ancestors. And then it was like we got a call that, well, what about us? What about the babies? What about the children? Across the courtyard, there was another room, which we understood after the reading that this was where the babies were born. This is where sisters had their babies. So we built something there also, so that whenever you went into the women's dungeon, you brought candles. I went there years later. People were bringing pictures of their ancestors. They brought candies and food for the babies. And if you go into the castle dungeons today, that shrine is still there.
Ashe. This is history. This is history today. Knowing that the power of the ancestors came through. We went to set up the remembrance of the women because we knew it was the women's section.
Right.
Right. And one of the priests got possessed and we read it. And when we went over there, it was amazing. Recognizing that when they gave the tour, they told us that the priest of the Catholic Church would be, of the Anglican Church, there was a little trap door that they would have the young girls go up there and they would have sex with them, impregnate them and put them back downstairs. And the women, and then that's when the ancestors told us this is the corner where the women used to give birth, right? And then go back to the women's.
Right.
And so also that we saw, and one of our priests just was so consumed with tears she saw, and she got possessed and saw in the moment that some of the women, when the children were born with green eyes and blue eyes, they thought they were demons and they would strangle the baby with the umbilical cord or cover their noses. This is history. This is real.
And see, let me just, because we tend to get the little turned around, because we got two castle dungeons, okay?
Yes, but
because the castle dungeons, Elmina Castle Dungeons, is where they bring the women into the courtyard, and then they would take them up to the governor's quarters and do whatever he wanted to do with them. The Cape Coast Castle Dungeons is where we erected the shrine and set the place for the babies.
Okay.
And because a lot of the children that were born were children of white folks, of soldiers. And so if you had a baby, sometime you were put back into population. Oftentimes you were not. And your babies died. Okay. So, there's so much history. And we are proud to have been a part of making that history and letting people know that this is possible for us. We have the right of return to the land of our ancestors. Not just a year of return. We have the right to return to the land of our ancestry. And that is our ancestry.
And it's not the end of our history. That is just a part of our history. Because when we look at our history from ancient Egypt, that was just a part of our history. Just like where we are today, what's going on in the world, that's just part of our history. That is not our total history.
Exactly.
So it's very important, as what you're saying, is for us to understand it's an obligation for us to go, to see, to set foot. But it's more important for you to go knowing what it is that you're going to see.
Right.
That you're not going there to a little shop where you can buy little cute things of pictures and that's what it wants to be turned in. But when you go, know what you're going to, know the history that's in there. Also share that the fact that there's a ceremony that Spirit gave you to, but whenever you go to the dungeons, to wash your feet before you go home. Share a little with that.
Whenever you go into the castle dungeons, you remove your shoes. After you've come out of the dungeons, it's very, very important to wash your feet. If you're not able to go into the ocean before you leave the castle dungeons, then you wash your feet. Very, very, very important. And so when we would bring people into the castle dungeons, we would take them back to One Africa. and we would take them to the ocean. And not only to wash their own feet, but to wash the feet of the person next to them, your brother or your sister, because we're not too proud to do that. So we washed one another's feet. We humbled ourselves before the Spirit.
And when you didn't do that, what was the side effects of when you came back? People brought
They brought all kind of stuff.
people will go into the castle dungeons, and if you have ever been there, and if you ever get to go there to any of the dungeons, which they want to call castles, to the dungeons where our ancestors were murdered and tortured, and you feel a way, not just the anger in here, but you actually feel, because some people have been and seen. I know I have seen the spirits, be touched by the Spirit, spun by the Spirit. So you want to make sure that you wash your feet when you leave there. That's so important. And on my from I suggest and I recommend, don't take children in there, because they're so new to grounding on earth that sometimes they can run into a lot of problems. I know of 2 students of mine that went, and it was not a good experience. So I know we want to talk about the history and that, leave them outside. But when you go in where you're talking about connecting to the soul and the pain of the ancestors, because that is in the walls.
That's right.
I don't know if you can still have the odor of it.
Yes.
You smell to this day
you can smell
of life.
That's right. Of life,
so make sure that you know there is a cell that has no doors, no windows.
Yeah, that's in the Elmina Castle.
In Elmina,
dungeons.
yes. And you don't, when you go in, the intention was to break the baddest, most rebellious slave.
But you would go in.
But you would go in and you never come out.
You never come out.
And so you would scream and holler until you lose your energy, and then you die, and they would know that you're dead. So everyone of the other slaves would hear, know, and understand, do not revolt. Our ancestors are there. Our memories are in the wall.
That's right.
So don't go as a tourist.
No,
go as a connection.
Remember that we are not tourists when we visit the slave forts and dungeons. The other thing is that the way has been opened, and I feel good about it. You know,
yes,
people always
definitely.
tell me, "Oh, Mama One Africa, you've opened the way for us. You've shown us what's possible." Well, my heart is swelling. One, because you remember when I got my citizenship in 2016.
I was there.
She was there. I danced and danced in that water.
I was just crying
in my clothes, and she was snotting and crying like a baby.
That was the best. That was the best.
I was so happy. And then several years later, another 120 got their citizenship, and we've been fighting all along for that. And then a couple of years later, another 120.
That's right.
And just recently, 524 diasporan Africans received their citizenship in Ghana. But let me say this. Ghana is not the only country.
Please.
Sierra Leone is giving us citizenship. Burkina Faso is giving us citizenship.
That brother,
Ibrahim Traore. Let me
check out his book. That's where I'm going.
That's right.
Well, that's where we're going.
That's where we're going.
That's our next
I'm
trip.
going to look in his face. So
yes,
I can
tell that brother.
How
young man in his early 30s.
6 years old.
Running a country with unapologetically African.
That's
so look
right.
into those places.
Yes, please. Because the doors are open.
Yes.
There are so many African countries that now want us. Before, it was hard to get citizenship. You had to be there. You remember how hard it was? You couldn't even visit next door.
You had to prove that you were there how many years.
All that.
Honey.
But the doors are open now. So if you haven't come home, plan to come home. Go home and celebrate Mother. Go home and celebrate yourself, because you have a place on the continent. We ain't colored. We're Africans. So when they ask me, well, what is your nationality? I say, I am an African.
That's it. Unapologetically.
Unapologetically African. I was born in America, but that don't make me an American. I am an African.
And so
I'm proud of it.
And as the reading of the year says, if we look at the reading of the year, it says, do not forget your mother.
That's right.
Remember the story of when Shango got so big and he was traveling the world and doing all of that, and he forgot his mother, and his white horse got away. And he says, I'll give money, I will give position and titles if y'all find my horse. That's the proverb that goes with the reading of the year. Look on it, on the reading of those in the diaspora and those in the United States. Look at the reading of the year on Yeyefini.com. And it says that when Shango was going to look for his horse. I mean, he couldn't find a horse, so he sent out everyone. Nobody could find a horse. Well, the horse knew the mother, and the mother knew the horse because she knew that was. And the horse came up and behind, and she said, "Oh my God, that's my son's horse. He must have got out. Let me take it." She went and took the horse back. And he says, "Oh, this person is going to be giving titles and honors because this person found my horse." And he looked and he said, "Oh, Mama, it's my mother. I forgot about you because I was so busy in the world making my position that I forgot you. So don't forget your mother." That's what the reading of the year say. And don't get it twisted and think that Africa has one country. It's 52 nations.
That's right. 52.
And that's what our children need to learn in school.
Yes.
It's not a country. 52 nations. So you got choice. Don't spend your money going to Europe because that's the reason why we ended up where we are today. Okay? So put your money, there are places everywhere
and
baby.
And let me say this.
And each one has its different flavor.
Yes.
Completely. I've been to Benin, and that's a whole nother experience. Senegal, completely different. I mean, come on, the Republic of what used to be Dahomey then, which is now Republic of Benin. Look, we've been to Nigeria, we've been
a lot of places.
Tanzania.
Yes, and see, the thing for
Rwanda
us to remember is that it is okay. We have to agree to disagree.
Yes.
Those who don't want to go,
that's fine.
Those who do, we encourage them. For many years, my family said that I had fallen out of my treehouse, me and my husband. They fell out their treehouse. They living in Africa in trees. Well, I enjoyed living in my treehouse.
Yes.
With my 3 bathrooms and multiple bedrooms and all the rest of that, where y'all could come and spend the night.
That's right.
Anytime. So right now, once again, we're saying that One Africa is on the market. Anyone who is interested can get in touch with Beverly Drain Fowler, Esquire.
And we put it in the chat. It's in the chat. It's at the beginning of the chat. I know it came up as if it was my name because, I don't know all that stuff.
And
there it is.
Yeah, we have it there. Her number is +1 505 459 5836. She is my attorney and negotiator. So, and very, very, very smart and articulate sister. So if you want any information, additional information, please contact her directly. I also invite you to check out my YouTube channel, which is Mama One Africa, or One Africa. I have a podcast now entitled
It's all right, baby. We are queen agers. We have those moments.
We queen agers, we have those moments. But this is called a walk down memory lane. And we're going through both of my books. Returning Home Ain't Easy, but it sure is a blessing.
Everybody needs to read that book.
And Ababio, which is he or she who was away and has returned. It's a 21st century anthology of returnees, diaspora returnees to Ghana.
So that's what we wanted to speak to you about, because when we get together, things happen. And so the thing that's happening now is letting you know that One Africa, tell your friends, tell your community that One Africa is on the market.
Yes.
We hope that the people that are interested in it are not just interested in it and in love with it from here, but we want you to be in love with it with the capacity to pay what it is required and what it's worth. And so talk to your universities, your communities, your sororities, fraternities. If y'all want to be part of the history, this is the time to jump on it, because if you don't jump on it, guess who are going to get it? And it will become a casino or whatever it is that we don't want it to be, because we have not done our journey, our work. This is our time that Mama Africa is putting it to everyone. It is for sale. Get emotional about it. Yes. Talk bad about the fact that it has to be sold. Whatever you want to do, but let that be the impetus to come together, get people to collaborate.
Yes.
Get to Beverly Drain Esquire at 1505-459-5836. She's a peace conflict resolution specialist. That's the lady that will tell you how much it is, when you can get it, how you can see it, whatever it is that your interest is. She's the one that's doing this for Mama Africa. She's getting paid. It's not a thing that she's just doing a hookup. This is serious business. We are waking up today to history. One Africa, which was one of the first places in West Africa for African American to come and established. And the place is beautiful. Chalets with all of the names of our ancestors. Queen Mother Moore. We have Malcolm X. Marcus Garvey. All of those, each chalets. John Henry. All of those have chalets that you stand in. Chalets are beautiful. You're not down in the back. No, you got a shower. You got all of the things. That don't be fooled by the foolishness. So One Africa.
Yes.
That's where you want to look towards. If you're a person that understands the culture, the importance of our ancestors coming here and come together, I know that we can do it. We've done it before. We don't want to be feeling away when it's sold and then we're complaining. This is our opportunity. The reading of the year said do everything different. This is different. And what's happening right now as we speak is an opportunity for us to look at ourselves as being different and taking different choices.
Let me just clarify something. When my husband and I call him my bestest friend, when me and my best friend came to Ghana, we came to meet other diasporan Africans. Not a lot. They lived in Accra. Our choice was to live in the bush. So we're bush people. But we had people that were there. We've got people in Ghana that have lived in Ghana for more than 60 years.
I remember because you took me to the house of one of those sisters.
Yeah, and also to Dr. Robert E. Lee, who was the first dentist in Ghana during Nkrumah's time.
Mm-hmm.
So we had been coming, in dribs and drabs. And some of us are still there. What was put on us was go and see and come and do. And that's what we did. Okay. So please feel free. You will absolutely love One Africa. I have to shout out to Mama Lena Diop, Nzngah Jana, Mama Zulu.
Yes, Ibae.
Yes, these are sisters that lay under the soil of Ghana. Dr. Lee and others.
Yes,
so they're saying, the ocean is there. I just love, that's the one thing I miss about not being in Ghana. Oh God, the ocean.
And as soon as I come, I don't want to talk to anybody. I drop my bag and I'm going, and I have my little pool that I have to go.
Right.
Sitting there, you say, yeah, you're finished? I'm coming.
Yeah, right.
I'm coming. Crying and bathing with the ancestors.
You can't do nothing with her. She has to go with her.
So special.
She's special.
Okay, special. I'm one of those special people. But thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for giving us ear.
Yes.
And even if you don't buy it, go take a look. Go feel. Go and be blessed by the experience. And shout out to all of those people who've been. I thank you very much for your support. I shout out to members of my staff who've been there. I mean, we must have had something special because I had staff that had been with me for more than 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't go nowhere. But I shout out to them, say thank you very much. Thank all of you for the support that you've given us in the past.
Yes, I share.
And know that that I have no regrets.
I share.
Challenges, yes. How to deal with them, I will, and I have.
I share. I share.
Love to all of you.
Yes, and subscribe.
And it's Mama One Africa. One Africa.
Yes.
Okay.
That story as to what it was, One Africa, that's another podcast. Make sure that every one of you share this particular segment where in the word is Yeyefini with 16 of your friends.
Let me share my email address.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so what you would do is share it with 16 people. This little YouTube or Facebook or Instagram that you see us on.
This is one. No, it's not coming up. Okay. It's One Africa.
Yeah.
Underscore. Okay. One Africa. ICA.
You know, we are queenagers, but we make it happen, baby.
Ghana at yahoo.com. Is that right?
That's it. Perfect.
That One Africa
at underscore Ghana at Yahoo.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
Press
my email address. And
it's
look
in there
for me on YouTube at Mama One Africa.
Thank you. Y'all have a beautiful day today. And this is historic. I forgot this is celebration of Martin Luther King's.
Yes.
Yes, birthday. Okay, so look at that. History being made. Remember I stated that this is going to be an epic year. An epic year. So share it. Subscribe to us. That's it. YouTube Mama One Africa. There you go.
You see, we got all these glasses on our face.
That's right, honey.
Can you see?
That's its purpose.
Yes.
Yes. So everything is on there. The her YouTube channel, and Beverly Drain Fowler Esquire's number is on there. Mm-hmm. Feel free.
And a shout out for today for the Honorable Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
I share.
The Way Show.
So y'all have a blessed day, and y'all go out there and be brave, be strong, and know that we have a purpose, and you have the right.
That's right.
You have the right and the privilege to remember. You have the power to be great.
You have the right to return to the land of your ancestors.
I share. Somebody says, I love your queenagers. Yes, that's what we are, queenagers. 80 ain't never looked this good.
Okay, plus 80.
Yes, and almost 80. Baby. And there's no filter on this.
Right.
We ain't got them good teenagers say you no filter. This ain't no filter. This is us. Okay, so y'all have a good one before we go crazy now.
Okay.
Before we start acting like ourselves.
Okay.
Whatever. Okay. Y'all have a great one. And remember to share. Even in church.
Right.
And in your sororities, fraternities. Yes. At the bar.